Hello everyone, Pavlo with you with a slightly unpolished daily dose of Ukrainian accent. Today we are going to talk about interesting device made by a pretty new company, TimeEar. Its name is BTE9 and it's a portable DAC amplifier for headphones with Bluetooth. And even by specifications, it's easy to understand that company knows what they are doing. It uses Qualcomm chip for the wireless communication. It supports LDAC and aptX HD. It uses Cirrus Logic 43198 as a DAC and uses two ESS 9603 as amplifier. It offers a pretty long work time. Company states it at 18.5 hours. I've got sometimes even more, sometimes even less, but still pretty impressive figures. And all that came with a pretty pleasant price, about $70 to $80. So let's have a closer look. Box is pretty simple and straightforward, but I like small details, like they've made the side of the box looks same way as the side of the device itself, which is pretty nice. Also, they've listed main features here and on the back side too. So, size of the device and what is interesting here, two array microphone calls, meaning that it has two microphones, one for voice and one for this Qualcomm CVC technology for noise cancellation. And up to 18.5 hours. And indeed, on the low gain, it really impressed with work time. I've got from 15 to more than 20 hours, depending on codecs and load. On the high gain, you'll get less, but still results are pretty nice. So let's dive into the box. As usual, here you'll get black main box, short manual and warranty card, device itself, and pretty nice USB cable. You can see it's straight from one side to probably it's the side that should go to the device, and angled on the other side to give you low profile when you connect to your smartphone. So, in terms of design, it's absolutely straightforward build. Glass on the front panel and aluminium on the rest of sides. No protective film, unfortunately, and no case, but you can get a case on AliExpress for like $10. It's compact, but build quality feels really solid. So nothing is shaking, nothing is rattling. So 3 buttons here, one central is on off, control, and many other functions. Volume buttons, then hole for the microphone and the gain toggle, low and high. On the bottom you have USB for charging, and also it can work as USB DAC. But actually USB DAC here is kind of a bonus feature. It doesn't have a dedicated chip to provide USB interface. It's handled by Qualcomm chip, so it's limited to USB audio 1.0. And I've read some complaints about the USB, but in my case it worked kind of okay. But I still think that it's mainly a Bluetooth device, so it's in pairing mode by default. And if you connect by USB, it switches to USB automatically. Small OLED screen, and you can see here firmware version entering pairing mode, battery charge, then digital filter, volume, and that it's connected via Bluetooth. So all the basic information. Screen is not big, but it provides you with necessary information. Also, I must admit it holds connection really well, which is a pretty good thing up to like 30 meters or so, working reliably when there is no huge interference outside. I've got a few hiccups in the local shopping mall because there are a lot of Wi-Fi networks around there, but besides that, everything is worked perfectly. And you can see here is one hole for the microphone and second goes here. So two separate microphones to make everything work better. Overall, I like simple and straightforward build quality. It's kind of a utilitarian thing that doesn't play into fancy design, just doing its work. Device has a companion app, and traditionally for small companies you need to sideload this application from their website. It's not available in Google Play Store. Also, I had to disable all protection on the device to install it. So if it's your smartphone, do it on your own risk. I don't have any sensitive information on the player, and I think it's Google being a bit overcautious, but please consider your privacy first. Application is pretty simple. It has two main features: firmware update and equalizer. Firmware update is not working correct for me. It shows some information and constantly disconnects. Equalizer need some music to be playing to work. Probably it's some kind of Qualcomm limitation. So let's start some music, and here it is. You need to disable bypass and then enable equalizer editing. And then you can adjust frequency bands any way you like and the way you want. You can save this equalizer curve. Also, they have some kind of sharing features for the equalizer, but I didn't test it. But I don't think it will be wide used. But anyway, having an opportunity to edit equalizer can be sometimes useful. In terms of sound, TimeEars decided to go towards almost natural and really technical sound signature, and almost here is because they've added a bit of weight and impact on the low frequencies to make everything slightly more engaging. It's not a huge coloration and it's not a bass boost in terms of quantity, just a bit of additional warmth and impact. And it sounds beneficial for many tracks. I can say that it's really engaging and fun. Bass go really deep thanks to recent advancements in the Bluetooth. We almost have no limitation in the bass depth, and it's well controlled. It has a bit of additional weight and warmth, as I've said, but not too much. And still really good texturing, pleasant impacts, nice rumble, and great control. So overall, really well balanced low frequencies without any issues and with a nice control. As an example, first one is I Put a Spell on You by Casey Abrams, and double bass here is really enjoyable and fun. It has a bit of additional weight and the sense of extra tightness of the strings, but it's kind of highlight the instrument without pushing it too forward and still represents well all the nuances. And Do It by Yello, perfect fit for such representation. Bassline is not super bold in this track, but at the same time it's nicely highlighted and really well rendered with a good contrast with mid frequencies. Mids are balanced, pretty technical, probably as much as technical as it could be with Bluetooth, with good resolution and with nice execution both in micro contrast and macro dynamics. It's good with small subtle nuances and with fast transitions too. Imaginary stage is above average both in width and in depth. It's not huge, but with nice sense of three-dimensional positioning. Device is not critical for the quality of records, which makes sense for the Bluetooth device. But still, you'll be able to distinguish between different masters and different recordings. Instruments are natural, vocals are rendered with good weight and, when necessary, with nice energy and forwardness. And First example, it's Ghost, Dance Macabre. A bit of additional weight highlights bassline. Also, it's really saturates drums that Ghost use here. But guitars, vocal, and other instruments are not lost, as they don't sound muffled thanks to the decent control of the low frequencies. And The Lion King by Hans Zimmer. If we'll go nitpicking, it lacks a bit of staging and sense of live presence, but for the Bluetooth device, it builds a good immersion into the overall atmosphere of this concert with all nuances, details, with good energy both for vocal and instruments. High frequencies here are really nice. Of course, there is almost no layering, and extension is not superb. It's above average, but not highly above. But it's more a limitation of the lossy nature of Bluetooth codec, because here creators selected a pretty good DAC chip and a nice amplifier, and this device gives you as much treble as possible. I mean, not in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality. Really proper attacks and decays, nice amount of energy. This receiver doesn't try to hide treble or to boost it. So if you're sensitive for the high frequencies, it could be a bit too much for you, but it's an honest representation, and you can use equalizer to reduce the amount of treble. But I'm not super sensitive for the high frequencies, so for me it's a really good amount, not annoying, not harsh, and not recessed or softened. Really good both basic and advanced overtones. Basic are almost great, and advanced kind of nice, and that gives a good sense of naturalness for the instruments. First example for the high frequencies, it's Hoff Ensemble, beginning, really complex track because record quality is superb here, and of course it requires much more technical device to be represented at 100%. But at the same time, really good amount of overtones helps you to enjoy it as much as possible via Bluetooth. And Warrior by Hiromi Uehara, also lacking a bit of layering, but still sounds really enjoyable, natural, and balanced thanks to the good advanced overtones representation here. In terms of pairing, it's a pretty well thought device. It has almost zero background noise even with sensitive IEMs on the low gain, and the normal amount of power for the full-size headphones. Of course, 240 milliwatts on the balanced output, it's not a crazy power, but it's enough for almost all full-size headphones that make sense to use in the portable format. Speaking about the conversions, probably the main competitor is FIO's BTR15. And FIO, of course, offers more polish, much better companion app, much better working USB functionality. But FIO, as far as I remember, is slightly more expensive, and it's natural. Here you're getting some quirks and X in terms of USB, for example, and companion app, but at the same time you're getting longer battery lifetime, and you're getting more engaging and more musical type of signature. So if you're looking for the device that it's mainly Bluetooth with long work time and you're okay with some imperfections, it's a really decent option, because like basic functionality of Bluetooth receiving and playing this music, it does pretty well. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.